It's time for the moment you've been waiting for. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Tsh, da, 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 da. Di, da, di, di, da, di, di, da, 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 da. Di, da, di, li, da, di, li, di, da. Di, da, di, li, di, da, di, li, 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 da, di, di, da, di, di, da, di, di, da. Preparing
the podcast.
Hey guys, welcome to As It Is, the booze-fueled, insane podcast, and today we've got a fantastic one. And for you guys, we brought on some expert guests. Now, we might as well have just brought on the Russo brothers. So today we have Jack Middleton and Sam Clark. Welcome, boys. Are you excited?
I'm so excited!
Amazing, lovely to have you.
Cheers.
But the main question is, Mark, what have they brought to drink?
Fizzy pop.
Fireball.
Oh, holy shit! I didn't expect the shots.
we got some stuff to like mix it with.
Oh my God.
Big boy drinks.
I didn't expect the fireball. Fucking hell.
Big boy drinks.
What are you drinking?
I'm on the old spiced rum again tonight.
Ooh.
Go ahead, Daniel. What you got?
Good old pink gin.
Big gin.
I had to bring it back, didn't I? Show my feminine side. Show a bit of feminine quality. Ooh. So pour yourself to drink, boys, because that's how we like to start as sessions. All right. So, guys, like I said, we've brought these two on because they are literally the Marvel experts. By the way, Jack's my brother and Sam is my cousin. So
Yeah.
just to give you a bit of context.
Yeah.
All right. So
I mean, I think we all consider ourselves to be a bit of a Marvel expert, to be fair.
I consider myself a Marvel enthusiast. Around my brother's presence, I wouldn't really call myself an expert because if I say something it's even slightly wrong, he'll come in and absolutely spank me.
Well, we've watched all movies together, haven't we?
Yeah.
I'm still yet to do a chronological movie marathon of them all, and I want to do that at some point.
Doesn't that start with the first
Like
Avengers, isn't it?
Captain America, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've got a little task for him. Can you name them all in chronological order?
Chronic.
Yeah.
I want you to do it one at a time.
1, 2,
So you
yeah.
first. Yeah.
You mean in like when they came out
In timeline. No. So like,
In
so we'll give you the
timeline.
first one, Captain America.
The timeline's kind of like
Exactly.
it's a bit like it's not messed up, but it's
You can change them.
you can change
Right.
right.
It's open for discussion, but we'll see what you
I
you guys
think-
say.
All right.
Jack, you start. Sam second. You take the odds. Sam, you take the evens. Let's go.
Well, in timeline order, first
Right.
one Captain America, first Avenger,
And then Captain Marvel.
and then Iron Man 1.
And then Hulk, I believe.
Yeah, and then Iron Man 2.
And then we've got Thor, I think. Is it Thor?
Yeah, Thor, Iron Man 2, and Hulk all differ on the same week.
Okay.
And then what did you say?
I said
Thor.
Thor,
And then
yeah.
it's first Avengers.
And then Iron Man 3.
Ooh.
No, it's Thor Dark World.
This is tough. Just listening to them, I'm like, Jesus, actually. I need a list of like the whole films just so I can sort of sort them.
Yeah, I get them like mixed up, like Thor: The Dark World and Iron Man 3.
Everyone forgets about that. It's fine. We can just ignore that.
Right. So, what was the last one that you said?
Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
Iron Man 3. Yep.
I
And
said
then-
Iron Man 3.
All right. And then it's Captain America: Winter Soldier.
Ooh. I think you've got Iron Man 3 and Thor 2 mixed up. Keep
Yeah.
going.
So, yeah.
What do you mean? What do you mean we got them mixed up?
It says on here Iron Man 3 first, then Thor 2.
No, bro, because basically what happened is right after the events of the first Avengers, Thor took Loki like back to Asgard, and it takes place immediately after. But some events of Thor the Dark were like towards the end, like take place after Iron Man 3. So, like I said, the timeline kind of like differs.
Ooh,
All right,
very controversial. All right, let's keep going. Let's get
Mike,
to
you're
it.
up.
Then it's Guardians of Galaxy 1.
And then Age of Ultron.
No, it's Guardians 2.
Oh, Guardian. Oh, Guardian 2. Yeah, Guardian 2. Yeah, they take place right after each other. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
There's like, I think like 3 months between Guardians
Yeah,
and Guardians 2. Then, Age of Ultron. Then, Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I completely forgot. Ant-Man, and then is it Civil War? Yeah, Civil War.
Yeah.
Black Panther.
Yeah.
These guys looking at a fucking list in front of them.
Then it's Spider.
I've got them completely wrong, to be fair.
And then it's Spider-Man Homecoming, because that takes
Yeah.
2 months after.
Oh,
And then it's Doctor Strange. But you know, the crash that happens like before the events of Civil War, I'm pretty sure. And then the rest of the film, where he's learning to be a sorcerer, takes place like after like Spider-Man Homecoming.
All right, then keep going, keep going.
Go for it, you.
And then after that, after Doctor Strange, it's Thor Ragnarok, and then
Yeah.
Ant-Man and the Wasp takes place pretty much same time as Infinity War, then Endgame, and then Far From Home. And then Wait, WandaVision, and then Far From Home.
MCU films fucking smashed it. Oh my goodness.
There are a few hiccups, but I'm not gonna lie, can't really complain against that.
Yeah, I
No.
got them, to be fair, yeah.
To be fair, because Daniel, me and you, we've watched them all in pictures like since the first came out, so it's basically like I know them like off the top of my head, like in release order.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people, or more people, will definitely know the
You have
order
to
that
think
it came out.
about the timeline or something.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to do it in release rather than timeline.
Not me
Hey,
personally.
That were impressive, that though, to be fair,
No,
wasn't it?
just wrote us through the entire timeline of the MCU.
That were a nice little intro into it. I like that. Now, do you wanna,
Thank you,
what me and Mac have done, we can already tell that you're experts, but we've come up with some quick fire questions just to show everybody how much you actually know. So, Mac, do you want to take the odds or the evens?
I'll go for the evens.
All right, so I'll go first. You're battling each other, so you can get them quickest. All right. So, one.
Right.
How many heroes make up the original Avengers team?
6.
Same time. Or what is the name of the country Black Panther rules over?
Wakanda.
What is Killmonger's relationship to Black Panther?
Cousin. Oh.
What is Hawkeye's real name?
What is whose real name?
Hawkeye's.
Clint Barton.
Oh,
I think
Found
so.
in Wakanda.
Vibranium.
Oh, I did get a question.
I just
yeah, no, it's hard to pick up. How did Hulk gain his powers?
Gamma
Serum.
radiation.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, basically. So.
Yeah.
Name all of the Infinity Stones.
Oh,
The
yeah,
what Tesseract or like just like
Stone.
all right,
Power
well,
Stone.
there's
Power Stone, Space Stone, Time Stone, Mind Stone, Reality Stone, which one? Soul Stone.
yeah. I couldn't say it at the same time. I get messed up.
Fair play. So, guys, if you are watching, you know that these guys know the shit. And they're not messing about. They've come to absolutely educate the shit out of us on Marvel. Am I right, boys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about Mark, but I know over the last few years, MCU, like before, like recent times, say last 10 years, MCU, I'd never really heard of that like construct. I always just thought it were Marvel Studios. So how long has actually like the MCU been apart from Marvel Studios? Has it been since like the first one came out, like Iron Man?
Yeah,
Well, they
it's like-
planted the seed in Iron Man, didn't they?
Yeah, they did the original Iron Man. They didn't realize it was going to be like a universe until when was it around?
the first Avengers. Probably.
Yeah, about the first Avengers. That's when they realized like
It could
they had
get
something big and like they could expand on it.
That's one of the things I wanted to ask. Like, when did so you probably know more than me. Well, you do know more than me. That's why we've got you on. When did they know they were going to turn it into like this long, drawn out thing, branching over like 12 years or whatever it was? Because it was 2008 it came out, wasn't it?
Yeah, 2008.
When they realized that comic book movies fucking sold.
Yeah.
I think it's like Fantastic Four because that's been rebooted like fucking 500 times.
Yeah, done
And obviously it's going to get another one at some point.
Yeah, it is. It's on that list I sent you of upcoming like MCU projects.
Yeah,
Yeah. They haven't put a date on it though, right?
No, there's no date.
No, I think it comes out in like 2023 though.
Is it going to be like the traditional like Fantastic Four cast? So obviously like your Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Woman, Thing, Human Torch, and then Doctor Doom, or have they got like a different like villain in it, or is it going to be Doctor Doom? Do you think have to build it up in any way, or give you any like hints?
I don't think there's any hints. Like they haven't really confirmed anything yet. But I'm not sure about the villain being Doctor Doom because I think he's like a really big villain, and they might want to save him for like an Avengers film. I would think.
I was just about to say that. I was like, if they can introduce him into the MCU, so you have like the Fantastic Four, they might verse another boss, but then in an Avengers film with a crossover, they go against Doctor Doom. That could be a little entwine.
Yeah, so like obviously with Guardians of the Galaxy, you've got is it Ronan?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And like he was like a sub boss compared to like Thanos, who were like the main boss.
Yeah.
I was thinking more wouldn't Doctor Doom be like the sub boss, and then obviously you've got like someone else above him, like obviously your obvious one, boys. Explain. Galactus, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's a god in comparison to half of these. But Doctor Doom in the comics, though, he's quite a big deal.
Yeah, they didn't do him right in films, did they? Like it was shit.
No, I agree with Jack there.
But in MCU, they'll like do him right. They'll make him like massive and proper powerful.
Yeah, he's very powerful in the comics.
What's the difference between the original like film that they did, that Doctor Doom, and the comic Doctor Doom then? Because obviously they didn't. That film was, let's be honest, it was dog shit. Like what?
Which one?
Yeah, they just watered him down really, so he wasn't even a threat really.
Yeah, it's just
Like-
shit. He doesn't do it, does he?
So can't Fantastic Four on like in the comics? Can they beat Doctor Doom?
I think they need help.
Yeah, I think they might need help, but I reckon they'd have a good fight against
Well,
him.
it takes fucking 4 of them, doesn't it?
Well, what have you got? You've got a dude who's based in an elastic band. You've got Harry Potter under his cloak, Invisible Woman. You've got a rock, and then you've got a dude on fire. It's like what?
No, imagine if Fantastic Four when they get rebooted. Imagine if Dwayne the Rock Johnson plays the film.
Plays around.
That'd be funny actually.
That'd be funny.
Who do you think would be perfect like cast for Fantastic Four?
Oh,
I think John Krasinski for Mr. Fantastic.
Chris Hemsworth
what?
as Johnny Storm.
Chris
Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, because he played him.
No,
originally.
that was
Chris
Chris Hemsworth. That was Chris Evans.
Oh fuck yeah, man, Chris Evans. Shit. Who's Hemsworth? Oh,
Yeah,
Liam's brother.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah. There's too many fucking Chris's.
yeah,
there
Chris. What is it? The 3 Chris's.
Yeah, the Pratt, the Hemsworth, and the Evans.
We were on about it earlier, like casting and stuff. Like, obviously before like the podcast, and this guy got mentioned for Wolverine, but I think Ewan McGregor would make a good Mr. Fantastic.
Oh, did someone throw my name in there?
I don't know. She's been out at Spotlight for years, hasn't she?
Oh, I mean, she still looks tidy for 40 years old.
Yeah, you couldn't really have her though, could you? As Miss Fantastic, Mrs. Fantastic, the Invisible Woman,
Mr.
I don't know.
Fantastic.
Mr. Fantastic, ballet fantastic. But staying on castings,
Brie
this is-
Larson, because she's a wonderful actress.
Wasn't she a dick to work with though? Like on set, like you two probably know. Like, wasn't there like a lot of like rumors going about that she was a bit of an arsehole to work with?
Apparently, yeah, because she's like a feminist or something. Ugh. No, I mean, like, it's just, yeah, it's one of them things where she, like, I think people just might have got annoyed with her on set, like, where she acting.
Yeah.
Because she's a feminist.
Those feminists. Oh. You see them, it's smoke on sight.
I mean, there were just loads of stuff shared about it on
there were a lot of
Facebook.
rumours.
A lot of rumors that she was, and just stuff about it on Facebook, and people putting really horrible things about her.
That's the
Like
thing. All right, before this podcast, I actually watched Captain Marvel for the first time.
It's good.
I like it. Yeah,
It is a lot better than I thought it would, but that's because a lot of social media was saying, "Oh, like this is shit. This is the worst thing ever." There was
It's
so
not
much
even-
hate around it.
yeah. I think there were a lot of hate because a lot of people were quite confused about it. I think a lot of people didn't really understand like the film. I think
Yeah.
like if you just go into Captain Marvel and not watch any of the films,
It's quite funny because obviously we went to go watch it a few times in pictures, but then one of the times, one of our old friends who's never watched a Marvel film went to go watch Captain Marvel as his first like ever Marvel film, and he didn't have a
Fucking hell.
clue.
No,
Like-
you need to start from day one.
I know, like
That's
It's
one of the
tough.
things.
I mean, I guess it's like watching Harry Potter. Like if you're watching the 7th one and not knowing anything, you're like, what the frick is going on?
Yeah, you can't just like jump in halfway through and expect to know what's going on. It's like jumping in fucking halfway through a baking contest and being like, oh, let's put some yeast here. It might work. Like,
Yeah, you're just not invested in like these characters and things, and I guess that's what went wrong with Captain Marvel.
I
Because
think that's
Infinity War dropped her in. Okay, cool. Then they released a film, so you're like, oh, okay, that's her backstory. Then Endgame, and it's like, oh, shit, okay.
you were just on about like characters and stuff, like introducing characters, and you get invested in characters. And me personally, I think that's kind of like how the MCU have achieved what they have, because they've brought the characters to life from the comics. And I'm going to ask, like, what do you think it is that makes them so like investable? Like, in what's it called? Like you want to follow them. So, do you think it is the characters, the
Influencer.
the big actors that play them, or the story? What do you think really like sells like nowadays? Is it the actors, the characters, or the story?
it's
like a mix of all three, really.
Yeah. Because like the comics, they were made like ages ago, like all the way back in like the 1940s, and like I don't think there's anything back then that like, because obviously like Star Wars were made in the 70s, but that were made from scratch from like films, and then like there's Marvel that had comics before, and there's just loads of storylines and stuff to take from it, whereas other things like you said, Harry Potter, and that they're making them up on spot as they go along. Whereas with Marvel, there's like loads of there's loads of stuff that people like read in the comics that they like, and then they're putting it onto the big screen, which people like.
Yeah, it brings a lot of the old fans back as well that haven't really like watched or read a comic in a while, or like watched a MCU film. And they might hear about it and then might think, oh, I might just go watch that. Like, brings them back.
That's it with like Marvel, with comics and things, because you've got to think, compare like the films compared to the comics. There's that many films, there's that many comics, so the database that they can pull out of them comics, just like pop in a film.
Yeah,
it's everlasting, really. Like hundreds of years worth of comics there to make absolute blockbusters and make the billions and billions of pounds over years.
It's funny when you were saying about that, because I was speaking to my old man like about a week ago, and he mentioned like Action Comics and because we were talking about The Boys in like one of our first podcasts.
Mm.
And that's another comic book series that's just absolutely fucking popping because it's so fresh and it's so new. And it's another spin on the superheroes.
Yeah. Do you know what The Boys is, Jack? Sam?
No, I haven't really looked into it really.
Explain
the
that.
fuck?
You'd love it. I've watched a couple of episodes. It's great.
How is it like? Is it on? Is it
Right.
on Netflix?
For those of you who haven't watched it yet, The Boys on Amazon Prime is
Right.
fucking sick.
I don't think I've got Amazon Prime.
Fuck it. All right. Illegally stream it.
We don't recommend this by law.
Right. So we've also received some fan submissions.
Yeah, I'll start with them. So there's questions. Number 1. Which X-Men character are you looking forward to the MCU introducing and why? Ooh. So which
Okay.
X-Men are you looking forward? Go on, Sam, you go first.
Wolverine and Cyclops.
Jack,
Wolverine.
Dan.
Apocalypse.
Wait, we can have bad guys.
Obviously.
Oh.
Yeah.
Blob then.
Oh,
Blob.
I mean,
Blob.
mine's gonna be Deadpool. If I'm
Oh, I
cheating that,
suppose it-
yeah.
I suppose. Go on then, Sam.
Yeah.
Why?
Wolverine, well, in my opinion, is one of the best X-Men. Like, he just doesn't care who he attacks. He'd fight anyone, basically. And I just think
Sounds like Mark.
That's why I said I should be the next Wolverine.
sorry, Sam. Go on, continue.
yeah, I think it fit really well, like, into the MCU, and like, I reckon they'd be able to write him perfectly to fit in against the other characters.
I think he'd have like a cool dynamic as well with some characters. 'Cause obviously, Wolverine's got that like "fuck you" kind of attitude where he don't give a shite what anyone kind of thinks, and it would be cool to like see him. I'd have enjoyed to see him and Tony Stark's dynamic, but obviously Tony Stark's dead now.
Yeah.
But I think that'd have been quite because obviously you've got the egotistical, arrogant side of Tony Stark, and then Wolverine's like arrogance and "fuck you" attitude. Like that'd have been a cool dynamic. Good choice,
Yeah.
Sam. Jack.
What did I say again? Blob.
Blob.
Oh, right. Just put that there. I'll put him in a fat suit. It'd be funny, wouldn't it?
Forget about CGI. I like the classics. I want a fat suit, but like a fat suit.
like a proper fat suit.
Imagine there was no CGI though. He'd have to wear a fat suit and then an even bigger fat suit and then a bigger fat suit.
I said apocalypse, didn't I?
Yeah.
And like since I was younger, I used to watch the X-Men cartoon, and in the X-Men cartoon, Apocalypse were a beast. It was an absolute beast. Like I remember when I had the figures when I was younger, I had a Galactus and Apocalypse, and my dad always told me that them two were like the toughest two kind of like supervillains.
Yeah.
And I used to like obviously like put them against everyone else. And Apocalypse in my head has always just been kind of like the badass motherfucker. But obviously, when they brought X-Men Apocalypse out, it was shit, and it kind of like ruined my expectations of him. So I'd like the MCU to like bring him through as the Apocalypse that I kind of remember and what they did in comics. That's why I like Apocalypse. I think if it were done right, it'd be mint.
Yeah, they'd write him right. I reckon they know how to do characters properly.
They're very hard to beat as well.
What is it? Apocalypse is so tough. He's got all Sentinels and everything on his side as well, hasn't he? It'd be awesome. No, it would be such a cool thing. It'd be so cool.
Don't he like
Deadpool, Mark.
Don't he like mind control like other mutants to take his side as well? Or like it gives them
Yeah, but he's mint. He's so tough. He's actually so tough. People don't understand how tough he actually is.
Yeah, he's powerful.
That's the thing. There's
X-Men ducked him.
there's so many big bads that you could quite easily make 2-3 films out of, like an Avengers all come together sort of sequel.
Well, I can imagine that if they did, obviously, when they do introduce X-Men to the MCU, Apocalypse could potentially be one of the big bad guys, but obviously they've got all the traditional MCU ones already in place. Obviously, like we were talking about earlier, like your Mephistos, your Nightmares, your Galactus, they've already got them kind of there in place, like little Easter eggs.
Whereas, what's the step up from the last one? What's the step up from Thanos? Yeah.
Galactus, definitely.
Yeah. That's
Okay, cool.
That's it. But where do you go from Galactus?
Where do you go from Galactus? Or where is there like a pit stop on the way to Galactus?
Well, there has to be, don't there? Sam, Jack, what do you think?
No, like you said, like Apocalypse, I feel like he fits in that category of like the god villains.
It's kind of like on the lead up to Thanos, he had like ego, didn't he? And he's like a celestial, and they battled against him.
I guess so, but like I feel like Guardians of the Galaxy are probably going to take that route, and they might just do it themselves, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Do you think Guardians has kind of like drifted away from Avengers now, or do you think they're gonna come into the next phase of Avengers?
Well, like Thor's joined them, so they might like come together a bit more, like with Thor.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And plus, like Rocket spent like 5 years with the Avengers, so he'll like have the contact. He'll like be in contact with them if they need any work and.
They will do, but at the same time, like, do you think Guardians have pulled Thor away from the Avengers and obviously going down their own like little route and been like, "Fuck you," and now they've got like the new wave of Avengers coming through, and like the old ones are kind of like your Thors, your Hulks and stuff. They're trying to like drift them out, obviously, like with the death of Tony Stark and then Captain America getting old. Do you think they're trying to die and scat? Obviously, Black Widow dying. Do you think they're trying to drown them original 6 out and bring like a new, fresh look through?
Yeah, I think they are, but you've also got like these things that are spawning everywhere. So you've got the Guardians; they've got their entire universe. Thor's somehow created his own universe. He's got Thor. Is it Thor? Love, God, and Thunder, or something that's coming out soon? God of Love and Thunder. Yeah. So Jane Foster is now the new female Thor out of nowhere. What's her name?
Yeah.
Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
Natalie Portman.
What an absolute dick.
It's to do with a like storyline in comics where she gets cancer and Thor gives her his power basically to like
she survives.
and she survives. There's one that's storylines and obviously adapted.
So yeah, like she's going to become a new Thor essentially. I don't know if you know, Dan. You've got your Valkyrie. You'll probably get your what's his name? The guy that's a moose, but he's also Thor.
You mean Thor and God Butcher?
No, he's like a moose. He's got horns and everything, but he's Thor.
Films.
He's got his own. He's got Stormbreaker. He's like the original in the comic book, but he has Stormbreaker.
Oh,
I haven't got a clue what you're on about.
Gatorade Bill.
Yeah.
Gatorade Bill has been in. He's been in. What? He's been in Thor Ragnarok. There was a statue on it.
Yeah,
he's been in.
Do you know the Grandmaster's
Yeah, there was.
Who won a Grandmaster's champion? So I'm guessing he already exists.
Like it's a nod to him, like being existing.
Yeah, but like that's the thing. Like, so what I was saying, they've all got their each individual universes sort of thing, and then the new Avengers on Earth.
Thing is, you were saying like they've obviously got that statue of him. Could that potentially be an Easter egg for the future? Because that's what Marvel are like kind of famed for. Easter eggs, aren't they? They're putting Easter eggs everywhere.
It's literally.
So do you think they've
like Easter eggs are going all the way back to like? Do you know Iron Man 2? That was like the third film to come out, wasn't it? In like you. There's like an Easter egg all the way back there that is going to be happening in one of upcoming TV shows. I'm pretty sure.
Really?
Oh, what's that?
Well, basically, Joe Justin Hammer is like one that is like
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
the bad guys in Iron Man. He's
Yeah.
rumored to be like he's not been since Iron Man 2. He's rumored to be the character, the main bad guy in Armor Wars, which is basically Joe War Machine. It's like his TV show, and it's to do with someone who's like stolen Tony's old tech. So basically, yeah, it'll just be people think that it's him.
Yeah, it can't be anyone else really.
Mm.
They would know of.
It's mad. It's actually mad how much they've already got in the pipeline and prepared for future. Is it like next 10 years or something they've actually got prepared? Like you sent us a list earlier. It's madness and amount of money they're going to make off that. It's crazy.
Yeah,
but
make loads.
Yeah.
They're gonna make so much.
I think they're really smart. To be fair, is like the people who make them.
of course they are. Well, you
That's
think
fine.
about like directors. You think about directors and stuff and
Right.
write them. And
Yeah.
I'm going to ask, do you think the Russo brothers are the best guys that directed any of the MCU films?
Oh.
Yeah.
I think so.
Why?
Because like every one of the film. Well,
If you ask who someone's favorite MCU film is, the chances are they'll say a Russo brothers film.
yeah, like my top 3 favorite are all made by the Russo brothers.
Do you know what the funny thing is? Until today, like obviously I'm a big fan of like films and stuff, like a huge fan. I love them.
Hmm.
But if someone said to me before today, who directed the other films?
I
Like,
know.
who's the director of the films? I'd have just said literally Russo brothers, and they'd be like, "Yeah, they only directed 4 of them. What about the other
Mad.
19?"
That's crazy.
I know.
And I couldn't tell you any.
I could tell you one,
Who's that?
just because he's a pure fucking legend, and that is James Gunn.
Yeah.
Yeah, James, my boy.
So, do you know why he's a fucking legend?
No.
Go on.
I feel
I'd like to know.
like we share some of the same sort of humor.
Yeah. Like the humor he puts into Guardians of Galaxies.
Yeah, true. But he also got fired because some of the tweets that he put out a few years ago. And I'm just going to read out a couple of them right now.
Go on.
This is why he got fired. This is a quote from a website. Gunn has been a provocateur who has drawn ear from the past of his unusual humor. Among the tweets that forced Disney and Marvel's hand were, "I like when little boys touch me in silly place." Another, "The best thing about being raped is when you're done being raped, and it's like, this feels great not being raped."
As it is.
No way.
Quote for quote, that was on his Twitter.
Yeah,
What?
they got fired for that.
I know we got fired, but
But yeah, that's why he got fired.
I remember the one about the little boys or kids, but I didn't remember the raped one.
That is.
Quite bad.
Oh, a guy. I want to buy him a pint.
That's fucking brilliant. But yeah, the thing is, he got sacked. But then I think it was Batista who came out and he was like, "I don't want to work for anyone that isn't James Gunn." So like they had like a revolt. The whole cast had a revolt and they were like, "Oh, we don't want to do this film." So that's why production was delayed by like 1 or 2 years.
Oh. You know something? It's bullshit now that you can't do anything without people bringing up your past like that. Like obviously that was prior to him being a big time director.
Yeah.
And you've just got to be careful what you're writing and stuff. So
That's the thing. He's had to come out in interviews and say that, "Oh, that was all in jest and it was all a joke." And like he's had to
Well, of
state
course
the
it is.
facts. Like I said this as a joke. I didn't think I'd have to explain myself. This was a joke.
Well,
Yeah.
of course it's a joke.
Girls is proper shit about it. Like the third Guardians film would have been out by now because it was supposed to be coming out in 2019, a few months after Far From Home.
Mad.
What is it? Is that why it's been delayed? Just because of all this, like, kind of.
Yeah,
They were like 2 years where they were finding a new director.
Oh, I thought this were all like in between Guardians 1 and 2. I didn't know this was like a recent thing.
Yeah, after 2. I think it was just after 2 as well, which was strange.
Yeah.
After they agreed to a third film, and then all this came up.
People are dickheads, aren't they? You can't fucking write out without someone getting offended. Like, it's a joke. Read it. If you don't like it, scroll by it. Don't acknowledge it. If you think it's funny, give it a like. But if not, fuck off, dickhead.
Imagine in 5 years' time it comes out that I was touching little boys. This is his public journal.
At least he made some good films before, like, I got kept down.
So did Harvey Weinstein. All right, to get us into the next topic, I want everyone to down the drink.
Right, cheers, boys. Get 'em up,
Chin,
boys.
Thank you.
That's a small glass, Mark.
It's a tumbler, thank you.
Right, all together, 3, 2, 1.
Is that a pint? Oh, it ain't a pint. Fucking hell.
Oh, it burns.
Oh, I drink strong measures.
I've not done bad thus far.
I regret.
It was Mac's idea to net the drinks. It's still going. Wait, so I've heard that as expert guests, I've actually got us some questions. So I'm kind of intrigued to what they want to ask us, seeing as we're the amateurs in this situation.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So you both saw that list I sent you earlier of all upcoming like Marvel projects.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
I'll get it up on my phone.
Yeah. Well, basically, the first question is just which one are you most excited about out of all of them? Like either film or TV show, like film and TV show, like just which one out of altogether you're most excited about.
Do you want to go first, Mark, or shall I?
If you've got it ready, Dan, go for it.
Well, I've actually got 2. Is that cheating, or do I need to have 1?
No, because I'm looking at this and like looking at my notes. I've got like 4 or 5. Like I can't wait for half of these.
Well, to be fair, I can't wait for them all. But there's 2 that are really taking me by. Like, actually 3.
Name a few. You can name a few. Yeah, name a few.
Right, so the 3 that I'm really, really excited for. I'm excited for What If. Really excited for What If, because obviously it brings it back to the comics, and like in Attic we've got the What If comics, and I've read all them. They're fantastic.
We a week and like read through them. They're actually like sick. I think they're worth a lot of money.
The
now.
mint, they're worth loads of money, and but the fantastic stories just giving like, so what if Spider-Man kept the symbiote? Shit like that. Yeah. I'm looking forward to Spider-Man, obviously the new Spider-Man. What have they called it? Because obviously Tom Holland, Zendaya and stuff like trolling it over there, weren't they?
Yeah. It's called No Way Home.
Looking forward to the new Spider-Man. But one that I'm looking forward to, if I'm being completely honest, the most, and I don't know if this is because I watched it when I was younger, like a lot, is Blade.
Yeah,
and with Wesley Snipes. And for me, when I watched Blade when I was younger, that were I don't know, there was something significant about Blade in the Marvel Studios kind of timeline that turned like because before that your heroes were all superheroes, but he was like an anti-hero.
Yeah,
and
I feel like that was the first adult one of like that period.
I'm excited to see how MCU take Blade and turn it into an MCU film, because obviously MCU's more of a universal audience rather than Blade were more of a teenage plus audience. And I'm intrigued how they're going to turn that into that, and because Blade is such a cool character, man. Especially the Wesley Snipes version. It was such a good film. The first 2 were sick. Third one was shit. It ruined it. but the first two were awesome. And I don't know, who do you think could play Blade?
They've already picked an actor.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. But
Is that official?
It's is it like
I'm not too sure.
Mahershala Ali.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
right.
they confirmed someone.
I
Yeah,
thought his first name was Ali. What? Yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, it does look like a Blade. Do you know what would have been cool for a Blade? Like a Michael B. Jordan.
He's already a Killmonger though, isn't he?
And I know he is, but he'd have been a sick Blade. He'd have been a fantastic Blade.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. It would have been quite cool.
Or a young Idris Elba.
A young who?
Yeah,
A young Idris Elba.
20 years ago, maybe. Yeah, he'd been perfect. Grow into that role for another 10 years and make it his own. But like, yeah, like we were just discussing, there's not that many roles for black characters.
We'll go on to that in a minute, Mark. Obviously, my favourite one that I'm excited for is Blade. Just like obviously to see the transition from Marvel Studios to Marvel MCU.
Mm.
In regards to Jack and Sam's question, what are you looking forward to most?
Personally, I'm really looking forward to the Hawkeye.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
Hawkeye.
Oh, I was taking the
I'm not-
fucking piss.
I was literally about to walk out that room.
yeah.
I was like, are you...
that's understandable, is that?
Sam
God.
were giving you that pit. Sam were giving you that pity. Then he was like, "All right, I'll give you some sympathy."
I thought the instant reaction would be, "Fuck off." Sam was like, "Yeah, nice, me too."
It will be.
Did you see my?
But
Yeah, it'll be better than some TV shows like.
Did you, Jack? Did you see my face? I like this.
Yeah.
What are you on about, you dickhead?
I didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
I'm gonna slap Mark.
I mean, I appreciate Hawkeye, but he served his purpose. Hawkeye should have died instead of Black Widow.
Oh, 100%.
Yes.
Black Widow's such a better character than Hawkeye, but it made it more of a heroic moment.
It
for
did,
Black
but
Widow.
I mean, if she died instead of him, that would have been even better, you know?
Just to say fuck you to Clint Barton.
But at least she's getting a film out of it, so hey ho.
Is that true, Jack? Sam, is she getting a full film, Scarlett Johansson?
Yeah.
Black Widow.
No,
What's that going to
Well,
What's that
it's
going
not-
to entail?
It's not
Meh.
her film though. It's like her and her family.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but what's these two will know?
It
What's
happened
it gonna?
after Civil War, but before Infinity War. Like the gap, there's like a little gap, and it's when she's
under house arrest, isn't she? And
Yeah.
there's like a 2-year gap between Civil War and Infinity War. It like happens between them.
yeah. So it's
So
just
they
like,
know. Do you know what the kind of premise is? What's going to be happening or what?
Well, the bad guy in it is Taskmaster.
Who's that?
he's got like a photographic memory, and he copies like the heroes what they do. Like he's got Captain America's shield, and it fights like Black Widow and stuff. He does different.
Is he actually a supervillain, or is he just like a bit of a dickhead who's like, oh, I want to be you?
No, so in the comics, he is a supervillain. And
Yeah.
like he said, he copies fighting styles and whatnot, and he can learn from visualizing fights. So if he
Oh, so
fights
he's like
someone for
So
like
he's like
long
a
enough,
mirror artist.
in a way, yeah,
Yeah.
and then he'll use
Ah.
that to his advantage to win the fight.
Oh, fair enough.
He's like a pretty basic villain. Over time, like he could be like amazing.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Well, so we've not even got to what Mac's favourite.
He said
Yeah.
Hawkeye.
No, Jack, I was taking the fucking piss, mate.
No, you can't change the answer now, Mark.
On a
He's
on
not-
a serious
Ma-
on a serious
Mac's
note,
well excited for Hawkeye.
literally can't wait. Look at my Hawkeye poster there.
Yeah, Max. So, what's your favourite thing then? Not Hawkeye.
No, but like what you said about the What If series, like the What If, the Loki, the Doctor Strange, they're gonna explore like so many comic book avenues. Like, oh, if this happened, this would happen. All three of them are like the same sort of thing.
Yeah, but Mark, do you know in one of your previous podcasts you mentioned about Doctor Strange being a TV series? It's not a film.
Oh, fuck off, mate. I've realised that.
Yeah, I've been wanting to tell you that for a couple of days.
When I watched the videos fucking 500 times in a row, you don't think I realised this shit? I realised this shit. I'm watching myself
I was
like,
telling you.
I'm such a fucking idiot. Like, why did I say that? Everything we talk about, I Google. I'm trying to find the facts, and I'm like, I shouldn't have said that. Oh, I'm a fucking donkey. Fuck.
Well, I was saying it in like first one. I was like, yeah, Doctor Strange film, and then you're like TV show, and obviously me and our Jack talk about Marvel most days, and then once I'd like said that, and then you made me like kind of think
doubt yourself,
like,
yeah.
You
like,
said film,
and I was like, and I asked you the question. I'm like, ain't it a TV series? And you went, yeah, it might be. And I went, all right, sweet.
I'm like, is it? Like in my head, I'm like, what is it? I thought it were a film. Our Jack, he's like Marvel expert. He told me it were a film, but all right, let's continue.
Yeah.
Fuck.
All right, but on retracting that and bringing it all the way back, I like what you said about Blade because I'd love to see what they're gonna do with that character and how they're gonna use him in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and also the Fantastic Four reboot. Like, I'm fucking really looking forward to that because I want them to do them justice.
Yeah, that's what I'm excited for.
The Fantastic Four saga and the X-Men saga, bring it into the MCU and make it work.
Yeah.
Before Sam and Jack go into it, because I know that they're going to go in deep at this, the Fantastic Four, for me personally, I've never really kind of been a fan. The only kind of aspects of Fantastic Four I've really liked is Silver Surfer and Galactus, just how they like kind of slip into it. But the X-Men saga, X-Men has always been kind of like my forte. Like when I'm speaking about Marvel, X-Men is me. That's what I grew up on. My dad were a massive fan of X-Men, and that's what he can like raise me on. I had all the action figures. I watched all the cartoons. I watched all the films. You know everything about it. The MCU for me personally is a different kettle of fish. Like, I know bits, not as much, but X-Men, I could go on about that all day. But Fantastic Four, the only really thing, because I didn't really read about it in the comics. I only know it from the shoddy film. And I'm sure Jack and Sam are about to go into it now and absolutely school me on it. So let's go, boys.
And just before we do that, I want to get in my final point, which is the Deadpool 3 rumors and the circulation of what could happen in that. Because I've always said...
Is Deadpool 3 MCU or is it Marvel Studios? Sorry.
That's the thing. I feel like it's that far down the line that they might actually start involving the characters.
What do you mean? Is it Marvel Studios or MCU? Marvel Studios make the MCU films, like
true.
You know what I mean though. Is it going to be like part of the timeline? Obviously, like Thanos and things are on, or is it going to be the alternate universe? Like what's the crack? Because how are they going to do?
I think
that's always been the argument that is the X-Men happening at the same time as the Avengers, or is it that in a different world?
I don't think it's the same time, but it's a completely different franchise altogether. It's kind of like comparing like Marvel, like the MCU with Star Wars. It's not.
But are they bringing Deadpool to the Avengers, like the Avengers first Avengers stuff? Are they bringing it to that timeline? Like you probably know.
They're having the same actor, but Deadpool 1 and 2 won't be like in the MCU, it'll be like just a fresh slate kind of thing. But
So it's gonna be Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, basically they're rebooting it as if 1 and 2 never happened. I think. So it's like
How they're gonna use it though? Like obviously because Reynolds is always breaking the fourth wall, and in like the Avengers like franchise, they never break the fourth wall. It's always just cinematic. It's never getting involved with the audience. 1 minute, Mac, I can see that you think I want to know what they want to reply to that, because I want to know if anything's been said, because these guys probably know.
Alright, so basically, do you know how Deadpool, like, he broke the fourth wall in the comics? Like, the MCU, they're trying to be, like, very comic book accurate. So I think it will still break the fourth wall, but it won't really, like, be interrupted with the main character. It'll only be him doing it, because obviously he did that in comics. You can't really take that away from him.
Yeah, it's one of his things that he does. It's his character.
That's the thing. Like you've just said it, Sam. Like that's his character. For Ryan Reynolds, that's the thing that kind of relates to the audience and makes it funny. That it kind of breaks away from the story, and it's like, yeah, so I'm fighting Colossus. Colossus is a massive dildo silver prick, and now I'm going to fight again. And that's kind of like what makes it funny, that it breaks away from it. So if they brought it to MCU, would they take that away, and can they make it universal rather than that 15, 18-year-old bracket? Because MCU is not that 15, 18-year-old bracket. It's more of a PG 12A kind of bracket. What can they do?
Let Mac, Mac, what have you got to say? Because I can tell you mine to talk.
Right, so
Matt's wanking over it is like, oh, big cheese.
So what we were saying before, Deadpool is the one I'm looking forward to most. Not because I'm invested in the character, but I'm invested in the possibilities that he can bring into the Marvel's, the MCU. And he can transition. He's got the link to the MCU and the X-Men. It can be in two different universes. But him having that fourth person wall break, he can go switch. He's like a narrator. Like you can just put a narrator in every single story and it'll work. And that's what I want to see. I want to see Deadpool and Wolverine take on the whole world. I want to see Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. That's what I want to see.
He kind of does that. He kind of does that.
Jack, sorry.
He kind of does it in his own films as well, because he makes references to like other franchises. Like I'm pretty sure he makes a Star Wars reference, and then he makes a reference to Joe Goonies, because Josh Brolin, who plays Cable, he played a character in Goonies, and I think he called him a character from that film. Didn't he?
Well, that's the thing. Disney owns everything.
1 minute, Josh Brolin though? He obviously played Cable, but didn't he also play Thanos?
Yeah, probably.
I think didn't he make a joke about that as well at some point?
He joked about that in the second film.
Exactly. Like he's the perfect character to like transition. If they are in separate universes, that's fine. He can be the link.
Do you know what I'm excited about though? I know, obviously, because after like X-Men, like the Marvel films, X-Men, Wolverine took his own like persona, had like Logan, all that shit, and then he had that confrontation with the original Deadpool that Ryan Reynolds took on, that he like kind of takes a piss out of after.
Yeah, the bald one with the fucking two blades.
Yeah. And then he's got like a bit of skin over his mouth. I want to see that confrontation again, but in the MCU. But I want to see it in the Deadpool kind of style.
Yeah.
So obviously, like you always see it from like Wolverine's point of view in the Wolverine movie, but I want to see it from Deadpool's point of view. So like obviously Ryan Reynolds, and like he sees Wolverine, it's like, who's this hairy motherfucker? What does he want? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to see it from there.
That's the thing. Like, there's always so many links between, especially Spider-Man and the X-Men. Like, there was so many crossovers back in the day in the cartoons and things. Like, it'd be Spider-Man and Wolverine and Deadpool all having fights, like every single episode, sort of thing. And I can't fucking wait for it. When that happens on screen, that's like the next thing that I'm looking forward to. That is all we've got time for today, guys, but thank you for listening to part 1 of our Marvel special. Make sure you're tuning into the next one because we get pretty boozy. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Instagram, and TikTok, so be sure to like, subscribe, follow, and all that good stuff. Keep an eye out for new content and projects coming soon. See ya!
Apparently, yeah, because you're like a feminist or something. Ugh.